welcome everybody to the introduction to the psychology courses that we offer at the University of Essex Online. So lovely to see so many people here, so thank you for coming along. So I'm Lisa Pepper, the head of the psychology department, and with us today we've got Stevie, and she's the admissions team leader, and we've got Anu as well, the learning technology manager.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
So I'll outline our agenda for today. First, I'll give you an overview of the psychology department. Then I'll run through our undergraduate and postgraduate psychology courses that we offer. I'll talk a little bit about the BPS accreditation and what that means for you. And we'll discuss how you can use your psychology degree in the future. There'll be a word from one of our current students, Hilary, who's come to talk to us today. And then we'll go to Anu, who's going to discuss how you study, and she'll show you our learning platform. And then Stevie will run through the application process. At the end, you'll have the opportunity to ask any questions that you may have, but also feel free at any point if you want to just ask a question. If you just sort of shout out and ask me if I'm on one of the slides and you want me to go over anything again, feel free to do that. I've not got the chat box open myself, but if anybody else sees any questions that are relevant at the time, just let me know, Stevie and Anu or anybody else. So I'll introduce the psychology team. So I'm the head of psychology, and we have a programme manager, Christina Murphy, and we have Lucy McNay, who's a programme coordinator, and we all work together running the psychology programmes. And we work with a team of over 20 highly qualified tutors who run the modules. And all of these work in academia or in applied psychology settings, such as some of them are occupational psychologists or clinical psychologists, and so they bring their invaluable expertise to our programme. So you should study with us because University of Essex are our awarding body. That means our degrees are validated by the University of Essex. And all our graduates receive a University of Essex certificate, and they're invited to the graduation ceremony as well. So your certificate won't show that you've studied online. The mode of study is only mentioned in the transcripts that accompany your final grades. The University of Essex won University of the Year in the Science Education Awards in 2018. And we're Essex Online, and we're really pleased to be rated as having 89% student satisfaction in the National Student Survey this year. We were also awarded TEF Gold in June 2018, and the TEF panel judged that as a higher education provider, we deliver consistently outstanding teaching, learning and outcomes to its students. And it's one of the highest quality found in the UK. So you'll be in safe hands if you study with us. If you do study with us, then you'll experience sector-leading teaching excellence, combining academic rigour with the cutting-edge technology. And Anu is going to show you our virtual learning environment today. We deliver career-focused degrees, and they're delivered by leading sector authorities and experienced academics. And like I've said earlier, we have 20 highly qualified tutors and more who work in academia or in applied psychology settings, and many are involved in conducting their own research, which they use to inform their teaching. So a bit more about our learning community then. We encourage lots of student interaction, and we like to provide you with opportunities to develop your skills in different ways and help you feel part of our student learning community, which is important to us because we deliver all our programmes online. We have a newsletter called Freudian Slip, that goes out 4 times a year, and here we tell you about what's happening in our department, and there's the careers section where we ask some of our tutors to write about their journey into psychology themselves and their psychology career. We also ask students to contribute if they want to tell us what it's like being an online student or discuss your experience with psychology, and you can contribute in any way that you like, so we always welcome student views. We have a department page that you can see here, and it has lots of information on it that you might find useful about employability, different careers in psychology. We've got information about the British Psychological Society and how you can gain membership. And here as well, we give announcements and ask for your opinions about new developments in psychology. So, for example, we're developing a new, thinking about developing new psychology courses at the postgraduate level, and we might ask you for your opinions about those and what you find interesting, what you would find interesting as a course in psychology. So our programme brings together a global community of learners, and it encourages interaction between them. We've got student forum where you can talk to other students on your course and other psychology courses. You could join virtual study groups, for example. We also share what's called a journal club with the health department. And once a month, we invite you to attend an online session for an hour. We discuss a recent research article. This is really good for developing your critical thinking skills, which are essential for psychology. So what you can expect during your course and during each module. So we don't have any exams at all, but what we do have is a variety of assessments. So we've got the usual essay style and report writing ones, but we also have different ones that we feel will help you to develop the skills you need in a workplace, such as giving a presentation or making a research poster. And we ask you to present to other students in a virtual poster conference. In the psychology of sport and exercise, for example, we ask you to film some coaching sessions and put them onto the platform. We try to aim to make your learning fun, and we do give you lots of support and guidance with the new style assessments, such as presentations. And we'll give you you'll have interactive workshops with your tutor to tell you how best to do that. We'll give them lots of instructions. So after marking your work, the tutor provides you with detailed feedback about how to improve, and you get that within 10 days of submitting your work, so that's a really quick turnaround. Our course is 100% online, and it combines high quality teaching with the latest technology. We use a combination of teaching and learning techniques, and within each module there are interactive lecture casts that teach you what you need to know, what to do in each module. So it teaches you the knowledge of what you need to know per module. You've also got access to the Essex library and ebooks and the Essex software hub as well. Sorry, that's doing that. Can you still hear me okay? Sorry, I just got a message on my computer. Can you hear me?
Lisa, your sound's a little bit crackly, actually.
Right, let's see what I can do about that. Can you hear me better now?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's just crackly in some parts.
Okay. Well, if it gets too bad, let me know and I'll try and use my headphones. Thank you. It just had an error message on my computer. Good timing. So you've got access to the Essex Library, as I've said. There's lots of collaborative learning as well. And other students can respond to posts that you put. There are regular Q&A or workshop sessions with your tutor. So here you can attend an interactive online session that's held by your tutor, and they can discuss new theories and materials related to the module. So to give you an overview of the undergraduate psychology courses we offer, we've got three different programmes that you can take at the HE level or the BSc level. So we have psychology, we've got business psychology and criminal psychology. So if you're going to take the HE route, you'll complete 7 level 4 modules with a study duration of around 16 months. And on completion of this course, you'll have gained 120 credits. If you're taking the BSc route, then you'll complete modules at levels 4, 5 and 6 with a study duration of around 4 years. And on completion of this course, you'll have gained 60 credits. You can enrol on the Cert HE initially if you want to, and you can gain your 120 credits. Then if you press on to the BSc route, you'll gain an additional 240 credits if you want to do it that way. And so the 4 modules that you complete are the same. So if you enrol on the Cert HE and decide you really like psychology and you want to continue, you're able to progress to the BSc course if you want to. So what you'll study. So whichever route that you take, you'll start your course with an introduction to online learning. And then you'll have the fundamentals of effective learning in psychology module. This introduces you to the psychology and the skills that you need to develop to help you progress through the course. And there are lots of interesting modules that you'll take for the BSc psychology, including personality and individual differences, mental health, stress and wellbeing, the psychology of attitudes. There are also specialist modules where psychology is applied to some of the career paths that you could take, including the psychology of sport and exercise, clinical and counselling, there's educational or forensic psychology, amongst others. The business psychology courses that we run have a combination of psychology-focused and business-focused modules. So a business module you might take is consumer behaviour or organisational development and change, for example. And the criminology psychology courses have both psychology and criminology-focused modules. So with this, you might take a module about offender profiling or victimology and criminal victimisation, as well as some psychology modules in there. So to summarise what you will study. So we'll look at the major developmental milestones from a variety of theoretical perspectives about why people differ from each other. We look at things such as the treatment of mental health. We look at theories and methods in the field of social psychology. We look at memory as a mediator of cognitive processes, lots of different things, including research skills as well. So we're very proud to have gained accreditation from the British Psychological Society for our undergraduate BSc psychology course. And this means that our quality and standards in education and training have been met, and we support students' achievement of learning outcomes. And we provide you with an engaging experience that's supported by many resources. If you graduate from our BSc course with a lower second class 2-2 honours degree overall, and you pass your empirical psychology project with a minimum mark of 40%, you can apply for what's called Graduate Basis for Chartered Membership, and that's abbreviated to GBC. We can show you how to do this on our department page, and we can give you guidance on this as well. It's very simple. But GBC is often required for BPS accredited postgraduate courses, if you want to go on to those later, and doctoral programmes and other career routes in psychology. So I'll speak about it a bit more on the next slide. But it's important to note that it doesn't apply to combined courses, so not business psychology and not criminal psychology. So if you would like to take an accredited course, then you need to enrol onto our BSc psychology course to do that. So your future. Psychology is a fantastic subject because you gain a wide range of transferable skills. Only approximately 40% of psychology graduates actually go into a psychology-related career, and that's mainly because the skills that you develop are widely recognised by many other employers in many different industries, which makes you very employable. There are a diverse range of career options, including counselling, healthcare, security, education, amongst others that you can see on the slide. However, if you are interested in a psychology-related career, our accredited psychology BSc course offers you a gateway into many different areas in psychology. So gaining your GBC, your Graduate Basis for Chartered Membership, opens up further studies in areas such as health psychology, clinical psychology, educational, occupational and forensic, because GBC is required for many of these courses. If you're taking the postgraduate route, so here are our postgraduate courses, and so we have 3 exit awards for our postgraduate courses. So if you're taking the PG Cert route, certificate route, you can gain 60 credits with a study duration of around 8 months. For the PG Diploma route, you'll gain 120 credits with a study duration of around 16 months. And if you're taking the MSc route, you'll gain 180 credits with a study duration of around 2 years. And so again, you can enrol on the PG Cert if you want to. When you've completed this and gained your credits, you can move on to the PG diploma and move on to the MSc route if you want to, or you can apply straight away to be put onto the MSc route. The modules that you complete are the same, whichever route that you take. So what you'll study. Again, you start your course with an introduction to online learning. Then all the routes start with a fundamental of psychological inquiry. This introduces you to what psychology and psychological inquiry is, and it includes what research ethics are, and how we study psychology. And it also helps you to develop the skills that you need to study at a postgraduate level. So skills such as reading literature and how to write, how to produce academic writing. We appreciate that students may not have a background in psychology, and also you may not have studied for a while. So this module supports you with that. We have 2 research methods focus modules. The first is called psychological research methods, and that gives a good introduction to research and helps you build the research skills for the rest of the course. It introduces you to skills such as analysing data using statistical tests. And don't want you to feel put off by that. We do it at a very sort of basic level and teach you the basic skills that you need to know. And then that helps prepare you for the advanced research module, build on those skills. And in that module, you get the chance to collect your own data through conducting an interview and writing a questionnaire and giving out questionnaires. We have modules about human development over the lifetime, covering topics such as social and emotional development in infancy, or how young children's language develops. We look at adolescent mental health and how we age in late adulthood. In critical social psychology, we look at topics such as prejudice, discrimination, gender, disability, how we use language to construct different realities. In the psychobiology and neuroscience module, we explore the psychological base of personality and individual differences. We look at traumatic brain injury and its assessment. We look at other things such as the basis of addiction and lots of different interesting topics. The postgraduate course as well has a big focus on employability throughout the modules. And in the module Psychology, Skills and Employability, you reflect on your own work values, motivation, person, job fit. You're asked to think about your own personal development and your own practice and your own skills. And we discuss different careers within this module as well. So you can learn about different career paths in psychology and also where the skills you've developed would be useful in other professions too. And if you've taken the MSc route, you'll take an MSc dissertation module right at the end, and you'll be assigned a supervisor and you'll conduct your own piece of independent research for a psychology topic of your choice. And for the undergraduate module, I missed that off as well. At the end, if you do your BSc on the undergraduate module, you'll also do complete a final dissertation project as well. So what will I study in the postgraduate course? You'll study topics such as the history and philosophy of psychological inquiry. We look at critical milestones in development, so starting through infancy, childhood, adolescence, into late adulthood. We look at fundamental research principles in psychobiology and neuropsychology, and we look at the main qualitative and quantitative research methods used for data collection and analysis that are really important in psychology. So your future, there are a diverse range of career options, including academia, healthcare, marketing, the legal system as well. So to be accreditation, you would be able to, if you took this course, you would be able to pursue further careers in areas such as neuroscience, clinical roles, sports psychology, child development and educational psychology, and that type of thing. Okay, shall we move on? So we've got a word from our student now, Hilary, who's actually on one of our psychology courses.
I hope that you can hear me clear and sound. So my name is Hilary, and I'm currently enrolled at the undergraduate level at the BSc psychology course. So because I travel a lot, what I was looking for in a university was flexibility, for sure. So it was clear in my case from the beginning that an online course would be the right solution for me. Because I was considering studying online, I didn't want to give up on an authentic academic experience. So I mean, feel part of an institution and also engage with extracurricular activities as well. I didn't want to feel isolated. I really wanted to feel some human contact. And I also wanted to feel part of the institution, so like engage with the staff members as well. And I must say that so far, University of Essex Online is meeting all these criteria because I have, for example, a student advisor that is designated to the psychology department and is always available for me. And if she is, for any reason, not available, there is always the student support team that can help me with anything I need. The psychology department is actually very interesting in terms of extracurricular activities because there is, as Lisa mentioned earlier on, the newsletter, and the students can also get involved. For example, they can use some research that they did as assignment, and they can publish it if it is interesting enough, of course, on the newsletter. There is also the journal club that is shared with the health department, and we usually review some very interesting papers, and I have to say that it has been useful also to improve my critical thinking when reading some specific paper that I'm required to read for my course. Another concern that I actually had before enrolling in university was the quality of the content. So I didn't want to just basically passively reading from a textbook and then just prepare for my assignment. I really wanted to feel like engaged with the content that I would read. And so far, I must say that I like what we have to read in preparation for our assignments, because there's always some interesting papers besides the textbooks that are very contemporary. And another thing that I like is that one of the assignments that we have is a collaborative learning question. So you are required to engage with your peers, and it is basically perfect to gain different perspectives and also, again, enhance my critical thinking skills. So overall, I must say that I'm satisfied with my experience with the University of Essex, and this is definitely why I feel like recommending it to you. So I thank you so much for listening, and thank you also for joining us today.
Thank you, Hilary. That was fantastic. And I'm really glad that you enjoy studying with us. So thank you for that.
So my name is Anu. I'm the Learning Technology Manager for the Essex Online, and I'm just going to show you a quick demonstration of our learning platform. And it is through this learning platform that you will access all the material you need to study with us successfully. Now, before I start, our site is fully responsive. So if you want to use your mobile or tablet to access materials, you can do. Although we do recommend using a laptop or PC when you're actually completing assignments or conducting research towards those assignments. So I've logged in as a demo student, so you can see exactly from the student perspective what you would be seeing. This is the front page. So in here at the top, we have a banner with some topical news items that you can have a look at. And this main menu here toggles on and off, so you can make more space for the actual content. In the upcoming events section, you will find some assignment deadlines, and there's a direct link to submit that assignment component. Now, a demo student has just finished the module and has started another one, so she does not have any upcoming events in this section at the moment. There's a global search at the top, which allows you to search content that you have access to. And you can change your settings via the profile and preferences sections here in your profile. All of our students have access to common content, which can be found here in the main menu. Things like reading lists, student services information, study skills hub, and student forums, among other things. To access the modules that actually relate to your program, you can use the drop-down menu at the top, or you can use the icon from the front page. So let's have a quick look now at some of the content that you will have access to if you decide to study with us. So if we start with some of the common content, so reading lists. So each program has a separate section in terms of this reading lists and curated content, but these are all open for all students. So you can view other program reading lists and resource areas if you want to or need to, if you're doing some kind of interesting combi program. So obviously the psychology one is probably the most interesting here. So to enter the library, you click on the button, and in here we have a reading list for undergraduate psychology modules and postgraduate psychology modules. These reading lists are hosted by the University of Essex Tallies service, and it is the full reading list for each of these modules, and you can access this at any time, and it just tells you exactly what reading is due, additional and required reading for each of the modules that you will be taking, and you can look at these in advance as well if you wish to. And then we have a further Tallies reading list, which is called the ebook curated library, and also an e-journal one. And these just give you suggested article journal titles and suggested ebooks for your program. So if you want to do some background reading at some point, or you want to start on some background reading, you can have a look at those sections, and they give you lots of information of where to start. So let's go back to the main page. So looking at the student forum section quickly, we have 3 levels for you to connect with other students. So in each module, we have a forum which allows you to discuss things within the students who are enrolled with you and the tutor within that module. I will show that where that is located a bit later. We have departmental level forums, which we'll have a look at the psychology one in a second. And we have site-wide student voice and social lounge. This whole area has been under consultation. So it does look a little bit plain at the moment, but we've just finished the consultation about the entire forums with our student population and the student representatives as well. So we will be making some changes, and it will look a lot more exciting in the future. So looking at the departmental forums, again, you have access to all of these at the moment, but if we just have a quick look at the psychology forum, and obviously Lisa showed you a screenshot of this already. So in here, for example, the last 2 entries, we've got the monthly journal club. Lucy's just made a post about that recently, and there's a consultation that Lisa's run as well, which has quite a lot of engagement from the psychology student, which is nice to see. And then there's obviously the psychology department as well, and Lisa showed you a screenshot of this as well, so I won't go into it that much further, but there's all sorts of resources here that will help you throughout your studies. So let's have a look at the main features of a module. So this is a demonstration module of actual real content. This is an undergraduate module called Reasoning and Decision Making. But our postgraduate modules, if you're interested in the postgraduate program, they're structured in exactly the same way. So the navigation is really easy, really simple. And obviously, the only difference really in the postgraduate is that the level and the depth of content will be completely different at a level 7 module that it is on the undergraduate program. So in the module homepage, we have an introduction to the module, aims and outcomes. And in here, we also have module announcements, which allows the tutor to push notifications to you about important things that are happening throughout the course of this module. We have a tutor office section, which gives you information about your tutor and their office hours, and also the tutor service agreement, which you can read down there. Each module obviously has summative components. So these are components that you must complete to pass the module. And they are in the deadline details section. So we have deadlines for each of the components and a direct link to each of these assignments that you're required to do. And The assignments and the type of assignment obviously differs according to the module. So in this case, we seem to have a collaborative learning question, which is a discussion that was alluded to by Hilary earlier. There's a case study and which allows you to write something, and then reflective practice assignment as well. In each module, we have live sessions. On the undergraduate psychology, these are called question and answer sessions, and on the postgraduate, they are called workshops. And it allows you to join your tutor in their Zoom meeting room for a live session. And it's a really good opportunity to have in-depth conversations with your tutor, with your peers about the module content and what's coming up in the next 2 weeks within this module. If you can't attend, all of these sessions are recorded and the link is shared with you via a module announcement by a tutor. In the module resources, we have a module reading list for each of the modules. So there's a direct link here to that module reading list. So you don't have to go through the reading lists page. Grading criteria, so obviously really important that you have a look at that for each of the modules that you're doing. We have a Turnitin sandbox, which allows you to check your plagiarism score or your similarity report before you submit any assignments. Because obviously academic conduct is really important for us, and we take that very seriously. You have a link to your APA referencing guide, and we have a student lounge here, which allows you to discuss anything within the students who are enrolled into the same module as you are. The core ebook, we offer that through a platform called VitalSource, which has lots of accessibility features. There is text to speech, you can change font sizes, you can print some of the pages or save some of the pages, depending on what the publisher has allowed us to do with the book. And you can also save the book for offline use once the license for that book has been activated. You can use VitalSource Bookshelf across 5 different platforms at any given time. So if you want to access via your mobile, a tablet, Kindle, or via your PC, you can do all of that, and you still have 1 license left over to use another device. And then within the units, we have the unit content. So obviously we've got an introduction to the unit, the topic of what this unit is about, the learning outcomes and aims. And then depending on the unit, the activities, the specific activities that have been suggested for this unit. So reading, again, so we have the reading also within the units, as well as in the module resources, you have the full reading list. We have a look at the second one. There's the assessment starts in unit 2 in this one. So if I go back to unit 1, I'll just show you a little bit about our multimedia content. So usually in every fortnight, every other week, we have a lecture cast. And this is essentially a multimedia production, which just makes the materials a little bit interesting. A little bit more interesting than just reading about it. So this is an introduction to the concepts of these specific units where this lecture cast is situated. Again, this is fully responsive, so you could look at this on your mobile or tablet as well. And it also tracks where you are once you go through this. So if you're using the same browser, it should remember where you are within the lecture cast if you don't have time to look through the whole thing in one go. And these are usually a combination of pictures or images, text components. We have an audio section here with a transcript as well, so that allows you to download the transcript, or if you need that for accessibility purposes. And we also have some video components as well. So there is an audio track behind there, so narrative. So you may not hear that because I'm not sharing my audio at the moment. And again, an associated transcript with that. And then we have some of these interactive activities going on. So in this case, a card task that relates to the video up here, the 4-card problem. I'm not a psychologist, so I don't know what that is. I'm sure Lisa could illuminate me, so you have to choose one. Let's choose something. And then there's a video now which tells you about what cards you picked and what does that mean in terms of your basic logic skills. And then we have these check your knowledge sections here, which are multiple choice questions or drag and drop activities, which just allow you to confirm whether you've understood some of the critical ideas within the sections that you've just read through. And you get, oh, I got that correct. You get a little bit of feedback usually with these as well. And as you can see, there's quite a lot of sections within this. At the end, we've got summary references, so you can read more about these ideas, these sources if you wish to, and there's an opportunity for you to give some feedback as well. So going back to the module and talking about feedback, if we work through all of these units, you can see in Unit 9, so this would be week 9, one final lecture cast, reading, final assessment. And always at the last unit, we also have the opportunity for our students to give us feedback through the end of module survey, which is, it does not log who you are. So it's completely, what's the word that I'm looking for here? Sorry, Hilary?
Anonymous?
That's correct. So it's sort of a very, very strange moment there. It is completely anonymous. So you can give us your feedback on that. And we do want your feedback so that we can improve, obviously, our modules and programs. And I think that's pretty much it from me. So I'm just going to stop my share now.
Thank you very much for that, Anu. Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Stevie. I'm an admissions team leader here at the University of Essex Online. So I'm just going to share my screen with everyone and just talk a little bit more in terms of entry requirements as per the programmes that Lisa has guided you through earlier today. And I'll go through a bit more detail just in terms of the overall admissions and application process if you want to join a course with us. So if you just bear with me, I'm just going to share my screen with you all for the next couple of slides for today's webinar. Let me just start that so hopefully everyone can see. Hopefully everyone can see that okay. Okay, right, so I'll go through the entry requirements first. So as you can see here, we're starting at the undergraduate level. So we offer 2 separate programmes at undergraduate level. So we have a Cert HE and a full bachelor's degree in psychology, as well as the combined programmes that we offer as well. Now, for the Cert HE, that is the Certificate of Higher Education. This is a level 4 qualification that's worth the first 120 credits of the full bachelor's programme. So in terms of the entry route, you can see here for the Cert HE, it is an open entry. So this course is actually available to all students, meaning we want to make education here accessible for everyone. So as you can see, to join the Cert HE, you wouldn't need any previous academic qualifications or work experience. What we would ask for you to support your application onto a Cert HE course would just be a personal statement to outline your reasons for wanting to study psychology and why you want to study online. We just need a copy of your photo ID and a copy of your CV. Those 3 documents would all that you'd need to get started on a Cert HE programme. Now, in terms of the bachelor's degree, you can see we have 2 separate entry routes available for this programme. So the academic entry would require candidates to have at least 3 A-levels or an equivalent qualification. For any non-UK students joining us here today, we have a very wide international student population with the University of Essex Online, and of course with all the programmes that we offer being 100% online and part-time, we do have a lot of interest from many different countries. So with that being said, we appreciate not everyone has A-levels or not all countries use this framework. So just to clarify for everyone, A-levels are a level 3 qualification here in the UK. A-levels are normally studied straight after secondary level, so straight after high school. So what you would need to do if you do have an international qualification that you'd be applying to a bachelor's or a postgraduate qualification with us, don't worry, we would be able to determine the equivalency of this for you as part of the application process. We do use an international comparison agent that will determine that for us. So it would be 3 A levels to join through the academic entry. As you can see, for the bachelor's degree, we also offer a second entry route, which is a work experience entry. So to satisfy that, candidates would need to have at least 3 years of relevant work experience, along with your maths and English at GCSE level with a grade of C or above. Again, just to clarify for everyone joining us today, if you're not from the UK or familiar with UK qualifications, GCSEs are a level 2 qualifications, and these are normally studied at a secondary level, so again, high school. Again, if you did have a maths and English or a high school qualification from the country where you're from, then again, we would just ask you to provide that certificate or that confirmation with your application, and we'll be able to determine if that meets our entry criteria for you. So lastly, just in terms of English requirements, with all of our courses being taught in 100% English, it is important for candidates to have obviously a very strong level of English in order to study with us. So with that being said, we do have English requirements, as you can see. So you would be required to have an IELTS score of 6.0 to join our undergraduate level courses. Alternatively, if candidates don't have IELTS or another equivalent English language qualification, or if you've maybe not studied in English previously, then don't worry. That would absolutely not stop you from applying. We do offer a free online English test, so that would be available for you. Excuse me, if you were to apply for the course, our admissions team would be able to set that test platform up for you. Okay, so moving on to postgraduate entry requirements. So as Lisa will have explained, we do have 3 separate courses available at postgraduate level. So we offer a postgraduate certificate, a diploma, and then of course the full master's. So we have 2 separate entry routes, but these entry criteria apply to all 3 programs, as you can see. They are all the same level, with being a level 7 postgraduate qualification. So there's no varying here with the entry requirements. If you were to come onto the certificate, the diploma, or the full master's, all would apply the same. So with the academic entry for postgraduate, candidates are required to have an undergraduate degree from an approved institute that is equivalent to a UK honours degree, or we would also accept a relevant professional qualification. Again, for candidates who are applying with a degree that's been gained outside the UK, just provide us with a copy of your degree certificate. From there, we would be able to confirm if that is equivalent to our UK honours standard for you. Now, for postgraduate, similar to the degree at undergraduate level, we offer 2 different entry routes. So again, as you can see, we do offer a work experience entry for the postgraduate level programs. So to satisfy the work experience entry, you would need to have at least 3 years experience, voluntary or paid, within a relevant field. And we would ask for that to be supported by 2 appropriate references. So as you can see, I'll just obviously leave you all to read the below there, as you can see sort of the relevant fields that would apply if you were going through work experience. As you can see there, it isn't an exhaustive list. We do review this on an individual basis. So that goes for all applications that we receive, of course. We do review these on an individual case-by-case basis. So of course, if you were to come through on a postgraduate level program through the work experience entry, we just ask that you provide a very detailed CV. From there, we'd be able to review that with our admissions and our academic teams to advise the best way forward and what references we would require to support your application. So again, with the English requirements, there's a slight difference for postgraduate level. So as you can see, the IELTS score required is slightly higher. That would be a score of 6.5 that candidates would need for postgrad level. Again, please don't worry if you don't hold IELTS or an English qualification. Again, it would not stop you from applying. We do offer that free online English test as part of the admissions process. That would again be set up for you once we get an application. Okay, so I'm just going to go briefly through the enrolment process with you all. So hopefully you can all see this sort of flow chart, if you will, of kind of the process from start to finish. So the first step really would be inquiring about a course, which you may do today. Of course, we can see we've got a few questions now lining up in the chat box. So myself and Lisa will be happy to go through those with you when I get to the end of these slides in just a few minutes' time. Now, if you inquired about a course today, for example, after going through today's webinar, or if you've been thinking about doing a psychology course with us for some time, you might go through to the website, download a prospectus, maybe call in the admissions office or come onto our live chat platform. We have many different ways that you can get hold of us. I will go through those in a bit more detail again at the end today. But once you confirm some interest, once you obviously submit an inquiry about a course, from that point you would be assigned a personal admissions advisor, and that person would be your main point of contact throughout your application process. So from your initial interest right up until getting you enrolled onto the course, that person is going to be there for you every step of the way. Now, when you apply online, that will come through directly to us. We get notification of that as soon as it comes through. It's kind of standard procedure. You will receive a response within 24 hours, if not the next working day, once we have received an application from you. As you can see, there is no cost to apply. You're absolutely under no obligation, completely free of charge to apply for a course with us. Now, once we do receive an application, the next step would be for us to review that and the supporting documents that we need from you. So that would be reviewed by our admissions staff and, of course, our academic heads to check that you satisfy the entry criteria. Once an application has been approved for your chosen course, we then go through something called a pre-enrolment review with you. That is not as scary as it sounds. It's very similar to a student interview. It is just a 10 to 15 minute telephone conversation between yourself and your admissions advisor. During that pre-enrolment review, we'll ask you a couple of questions just in terms of the technology that you have access to, with it being an online course, and of course just go through the course information with you and make sure that you're happy with everything. So once we've successfully completed the pre-enrolment review, the final step then would be getting your formal offer letter. So from there, once you receive this from your admissions advisor, you can accept your place on the course, and then of course it would be up to you to pay your deposit. If you are based in the UK and you'd be getting a student loan application, it would be securing your loan, obviously making sure that your funding is accepted in time to secure your place before your course is due to start. Okay, so as you can see below, we have the tuition fees for the current 2020-21 academic year. I won't read those out individually one by one. I'm sure you can all see those broken down on the screen there. But we do, of course, have that from undergraduate with the Cert HE and the bachelor's, and that goes through all of the postgraduate programs that we offer there. Just to make you all aware, all tuition fees here are shown net of any applicable sales tax payable by you in your country of residence. So just a little bit more in terms of tuition fees and sort of the funding options that we have available. I can confirm there are no hidden costs. So the tuition fees that you could see on that previous screen, they include everything. That will include your learning resources, your reading materials. As Anu kind of showed you, the learning platform, everything is accessed online. There would be no printed materials, but everything that you need to get through the modules and to pass your course is available for you. There are no hidden costs or tuition fees. The fees on that previous screen is all that you would be expected to pay. Now, there is designation for undergraduate and postgraduate loans in England for undergraduate and postgraduate level courses for students residing in England. Now, I do have to specify that is just England. It would be excluding Wales and Scotland, unfortunately. So it is just for students residing in England. You could get a undergraduate student loan for the Cert HE and for the full bachelor's if you wanted to progress. For postgraduate level, this would only be available for the full master's course. Again, if you're residing in England, student funding isn't yet available for the PG Cert and the diploma options. So if you're thinking about a postgraduate loan, we would advise that you apply for the full master's to benefit from that funding. Now, if you're self-funding, if you're paying for the course yourself, or this would maybe apply to some UK students or obviously our overseas students as well, we do offer a monthly payment plan option that would be spread out across the duration of your course. So, for example, if you wanted to study a master's, the indicative duration of that is 24 months, so the 2 years. That's when your monthly payment plan would be spread across by. We also offer a 10% discount if full tuition fee is paid up front. So if you wanted to pay off your course fees in full before your course starts, then there would be a 10% discount knocked off of the total fee for you. Now, international scholarships are available for students residing in specific regions. Again, with all applications, similar with the scholarships, this would be reviewed on an individual case-by-case basis. So if you do want to inquire if you would be applicable for that, if you just get in touch with the admissions team or submit an application, we will, of course, make you aware from there. Tuition fees can be paid very easily through our online payment system. That portal will allow you to make an online debit or a credit card payment, mostly within your own currency. You would also be able to do a bank transfer method through that platform as well. It's very friendly, very easy to use. We do, of course, offer a 21-day money-back guarantee. Now, we obviously think that you'll love studying with the University of Essex Online. We think that you'll obviously really enjoy the experience. However, if for any reason you decided the programme wasn't quite for you, then you would, of course, be entitled to a full refund if you were to withdraw or cancel your studies within those first 21 days from your start date. Okay, so just following that information I've gone through with everyone this afternoon, and just more in terms of the application, the overall admissions process, applications can be submitted online through our website alongside the following documents. So these are what we refer to as the supporting documents to go alongside your actual application form. So we would, of course, need a personal statement that ideally needs to reach anywhere between 300 to 500 words, just to outline your reasons for wanting to study your chosen course and why it is you want to study online. We would need, a form of photo ID that would need to be valid and in date. So either a driver's license or a passport, for example. Copies of your educational certificates. If you're coming on to a course via the academic entry, we would need a record of any educational certificates that you have. And of course, a copy of your up-to-date CV. Additional documents may be requested during the application process. So we may sometimes require transcripts. If you've received a degree, for example, we may ask to look at the transcripts just to support your award. In addition, if you're coming onto the course via the work experience entry, we may request references to support your application. Again, our admissions advisors would confirm that to you once you submit an application. We do have very regular course intakes for both undergraduate and postgraduate courses. The next available intake for the undergraduate psychology courses will be on the 17th of November. That does leave us plenty of time to process your application. So if you are thinking about it, I would encourage you to submit that as soon as possible. The deadline to join on the 17th of November would be the 13th or the 11th. Sorry, it would be the 11th of November. The next available start date for postgraduate courses would be the 12th of January. I believe I'm correct in saying so, Lisa. So the next available intake for postgraduate would be January. So again, plenty of time to process that here in team admissions, but we would advise you to get your application submitted as soon as possible, just because it allows us plenty of time to go through all the information with you and make sure you're happy before you accept and secure your deposit to come onto the course.